Okay, so the next part is habits. Do you have any weekly, daily habits that are moving your life forward in a better way for you? I'll talk more about habits as we go through this, because the point of this process is to build habits, right? A habit has three component parts. It begins with the trigger always. There is a routine of some kind that I then act on from that trigger. And there then is some kind of reward or benefit for doing that action, right? Whether it's good for you or not isn't always the case, but there is always three component parts. For instance, trigger, phone pings off. Routine, automatically scroll through social media, losing my life. Reward I'm looking for is somebody likes me, right? And then what happens over time is the trigger and the reward that we're craving for becomes the craving, right? And we automatically go into this routine, this behavior. We could transform the habit. You keep the trigger the same, whatever your habits are. Trigger, phone goes off. Routine, is this the best use of my time right now? Reward, get your life back, right? You could start having that. And when you get your life back for a moment, you put the phone down, do something important instead. Feel good about it, because when you feel good, you reinforce and strengthen neurological pathways. Hormones are released into your brain when you feel good that strengthens that behavior. So you go into a loop, right? We're in habit loops all the time, and they're either good and they're intentionally good because I'm transforming and creating them on purpose. I'm setting triggers for myself. I'm then attaching important routines to those triggers, and then I'm feeling good about my efforts and reinforcing it and building this loop. Or they're bad habits and they're unintentional and I'm kind of automatically doing them and they're a nightmare for me. Do you have a habit of meditating? Do you have a habit of exercising? Do you have a habit of walking outside for 30 minutes every day to get some fresh air? Do you have a habit of, what habits do you have that are supporting you, right? If you don't have any, you're discovering that actually my habit infrastructure here is pretty weak. What can you do to start building them, right? One of the easiest way to set a trigger is this thing that everybody has. Set some alarms. When the alarm goes off, label the alarm telling you to do something. Easy, right? If you'll do it. Set triggers. We have to set triggers for ourselves. Okay, the next thing about habits. Are there any habits that you've always wanted to start but never got to? Or you used to do this thing and you'd love to restart it? It really brought you joy when you did it back in your life at some point. Some people, have this real creative expression through painting, and they all kind of have a habit of painting twice, 3 times a week, and they really express themselves through art, right? And it brings them joy. There's so many habits we could have. What is it that you would love to do? What is it you used to do that you could restart again? That could bring some kind of real good energy and strength back into your life, right? What is it? If you're going to be more successful next year by a measure of 10 times than you were this year just gone, what habits would you need to start implementing now? What are the habits you would start to have to build? I'm going to talk a lot about infrastructure as we go through this, right? Infrastructure, you see, supports things. So like the steels in a building will support that building and allow that thing to happen, right? We should have, our habits are our infrastructure. We should have energy infrastructure, right? It means if I want huge amounts of energy, I have routines, rituals and habits that are my infrastructures to support that energy. You see, I run 3 times a week, I cycle once a week, I do CrossFit loads of times, I drink loads of water, I sleep loads. That's all the infrastructure that supports huge amounts of fire energy that you can have inside yourself and express out to the world in the way you're doing your life, right?